Determine the equation of a line where the distance from the origin to the line measured along a perpendicular is 5 units and the slope of this perpendicular is 3/4. Okay, let us begin. We'll try to understand the problem graphically first. For this, let us consider the xy coordinate plane. So here we have a line, let's represent it by L, and this line is intersecting the x-axis in the positive direction, let's say at the point A, and intersects the y-axis in the positive direction at the point B. Now also, we're going to draw a perpendicular from the point O to the line L. In other words, we can say that OC is going to be the perpendicular distance of the line L from the origin. Now, OC is such that it is 5 units from the origin and the slope of this line is given as 3/4. So this is given to us. Our goal will be to determine the equation of this line. However, there is also another line that is possible. So what we can do, let's draw that other line as well. Now clearly this line L, let's call it L prime, this is parallel to the other line L. We know that parallel lines have got equal slopes. In other words, what we can do here, we can draw a perpendicular from the origin to the new line L prime, meeting it at C prime. Now clearly OC prime, let's say OC prime, that is also equals to 5 units and the slope of it, that's 3/4. Our goal will be to determine the equation of both the two lines. So let's start with the first line L. To find out the equation of this line, we will take the help of the normal form of a line, which is given by, so let's note it down, let x times cosine of angle alpha plus y times sine of angle alpha equals to P be the equation of the line. Be the equation of the line, where our task will be to determine the values of these parameters alpha and P. So what is alpha here? Alpha is the angle that the perpendicular OC makes with the positive direction of x-axis. So this is going to be alpha. And then P is simply going to be the perpendicular distance of the line L from the origin, which is OC, and this is given as 5 units. Also, we can say P equals to OC prime, so that is also 5 units. Now, how do we define alpha in case of the line L prime? So here, this is the angle, because by definition, alpha is the angle that the perpendicular makes with the positive direction of x-axis. So that means this is going to be alpha plus 180 degree. That is going to be the angle made by OC prime, the perpendicular distance of L prime from the origin with the positive direction of x-axis. Okay, so we'll start with the line L1. So let's consider the line L. If we find out the equation of line L, finding out the equation for L prime will be extremely easy. So here it is given in the problem that P value, which is OC, that's equals to 5 units, and it's given that the slope is 3/4. Now what is slope? Slope as per definition is take the tangent of the angle alpha that the perpendicular line makes with the positive direction of x-axis. That is going to give us the slope, and it is given that slope equals to 3/4. So using this, we need to find out the value of cosine alpha and sine alpha. Now that's an extremely easy task. So what we can do here is we can consider a right angle triangle. We have 90 degrees here, and let's consider this to be the angle alpha. Now we know as per definition, what is the tangent function? That is the ratio of the opposite to that of the adjacent. The opposite, that is 3, and the adjacent is 4. So by taking the help of the Pythagoras theorem, the hypotenuse comes out to be 5. So this implies that sine alpha, so sine of alpha, which is simply the opposite over hypotenuse, is going to be the ratio 3:5, and then cosine of alpha, which is the ratio adjacent to that of the hypotenuse, is going to give us 4/5. We can substitute this value into your equation. So now we're going to get x times cosine of alpha, so that's 4/5, added to y times sine of alpha, so that's 3/5, and this is going to be equals to the perpendicular distance 5 units. Let's multiply throughout with 5, and we're going to get 4x plus 3y equals to 25. So this is the required equation. This is going to be the required equation of L. Okay, next we will try to find out the equation for the line L prime. So for line L prime, we have to consider alpha. So let's call it alpha prime, that is given by 180 degrees plus alpha, such that the equation is x times cosine of alpha prime plus y times sine of alpha prime, that is equals to the perpendicular distance p, which is 5 units. Now what we have here is x times cosine of alpha prime. Let's replace it with 180 degrees plus alpha added to y times sine of alpha prime. So in place of alpha prime we have 180 degree added to alpha, and this is going to be equals to p, so that's 5 units. Now what is cosine of 180 degree plus alpha? That is going to be cosine of angle alpha, but we are in the third quadrant. 180 plus alpha means third quadrant, where the tangent function is positive, everything else is going to be negative, so we should get negative cosine alpha plus y times sine of 180 plus alpha, so that's going to give us sine alpha. Again, sine is going to be negative in the third quadrant, so we should get negative sine alpha, that's going to be equals to 5. So we have multiplying throughout by -1, that's going to give us x times cosine alpha plus y times sine alpha, that is going to be equals to -5. So we have already obtained a value of cosine alpha and sine alpha. So cosine alpha came out to be 4/5 and sine alpha is 3/5. Let's use this value. So x times 4/5 plus y times cosine of alpha 4/5 and sine alpha is 3/5. So this is equals to -5. Multiplying throughout with 5, we get 4x plus 3y equals to -25. So this is going to be the equation of L prime. So we can say thus the equation of the lines are going to be 4x plus 3y equals to, so let's combine the two values, plus 25 and minus 25 to get plus or minus 25. So this is going to be the required equation of the two lines which meets the criterion. That means the distance of the line from the origin, that's going to be 5 units, and the perpendicular lines are going to have a slope of 3/4.